Diogenes was a Greek philosopher who lived over 2,000 years ago. He was born in the city of Sinope on the Black Sea coast in 412 BC, and he became one of the most famous philosophers of his time. Diogenes was known for his unconventional behavior and his rejection of societal norms. He famously lived in a barrel in the marketplace of Athens, and he would often engage in public acts of self-abasement, such as masturbating or urinating in public, in order to challenge people's ideas of decency and morality. Diogenes was also known for his search for an honest man. He would often wander the streets of Athens with a lantern in broad daylight, claiming to be looking for an honest man. This was his way of criticizing the hypocrisy and dishonesty of the people around him. Diogenes also had a famous encounter with Alexander the Great. When Alexander came to Athens, he sought out Diogenes, who was living in his barrel in the marketplace. Alexander asked Diogenes if there was anything he could do for him, and Diogenes replied, "Yes, stand out of my light." This interaction showed Diogenes' complete lack of interest in power or wealth, and his focus on the simple pleasures of life. Diogenes was also known for his philosophical disagreements with Plato, another famous philosopher of his time. While Plato believed in the existence of abstract concepts like justice and beauty, Diogenes believed that these concepts were meaningless and that the only important thing in life was living in accordance with nature. Diogenes died in 323 BC, at the age of 89. He lived a simple and unconventional life, and he is remembered for his commitment to living in accordance with his own beliefs and principles. Diogenes' legacy has endured for over 2,000 years, and his ideas about honesty, simplicity, and living in accordance with nature continue to inspire people to this day. Despite being known for his controversial behavior, Diogenes was highly respected by his contemporaries, and he influenced many philosophers who came after him. Diogenes' philosophy, known as cynicism, emphasized the importance of living a simple life, free from the trappings of wealth and power. He believed that true happiness could only be found by living in accordance with nature, and that the pursuit of material wealth and social status only led to suffering and discontent. Diogenes' ideas have had a lasting impact on Western thought, and his philosophy has been embraced by many social and political movements throughout history. His emphasis on living a simple and authentic life has been adopted by many activists and protesters, who seek to challenge the status quo and live in accordance with their own values. Diogenes' influence can also be seen in the minimalist movement, which emphasizes the importance of living with only the essentials and rejecting materialism. His philosophy has also been embraced by environmentalists, who seek to live in harmony with nature and reduce their impact on the environment. Diogenes may have lived over 2,000 years ago, but his ideas continue to resonate with people today. His commitment to living authentically and in accordance with nature has inspired generations of philosophers, activists, and thinkers, and his legacy will continue to endure for generations to come. Diogenes' life and philosophy remind us that true happiness can only be found by living in accordance with our own values and principles, and that the pursuit of material wealth and social status will only lead to discontent and suffering. In a world that often seems obsessed with power and wealth, Diogenes' message is more relevant than ever. Diogenes' philosophy of cynicism also emphasized the importance of self-sufficiency and independence. He believed that people should rely on themselves rather than on external sources of validation or support. This idea has resonated with many people throughout history, including the American author and philosopher Henry David Thoreau, who lived in a cabin in the woods for 2 years and wrote extensively about the importance of self-reliance. Today, there are many memorials and monuments to Diogenes around the world, including statues in parks and public spaces. These monuments serve as a reminder of his enduring legacy and his influence on Western thought. Much of what we know about Diogenes comes from the writings of his contemporaries and later philosophers. One of the most famous accounts of his life and philosophy is found in the book, The Lives and Opinions of Eminent Philosophers, by Diogenes Laertius, which was written in the 3rd century AD. Today, Diogenes' philosophy continues to be studied and debated by philosophers and scholars around the world. His ideas about simplicity, authenticity, and living in accordance with nature continue to inspire people to live more meaningful and fulfilling lives. In a world that can often feel chaotic and overwhelming, Diogenes' philosophy reminds us to live in accordance with our own values and to find happiness in simplicity and authenticity. His legacy will continue to endure for generations to come, as people seek to live meaningful and fulfilling lives in a world that can often feel disconnected and confusing. Thanks for watching.